Good morning, curators. Welcome to a special little video of the Yarn Curator podcast. I guess you could call this kind of like a mini vlog-isode. So I had an idea earlier this week while I was walking the dogs. We're at the dog park right now. That's how we start our mornings. But I was thinking, since I've knit a lot of summer tops out of summer fibers, it would be fun to test and see which fiber really is warm weather friendliest. So as you all know, I live in Florida, America swamp. It's hot, it's humid, and so I thought for the next week I've pulled out a selection of hand knits. I'm not wearing one right now because I didn't want them to snag anything while we're here, but I was thinking it might be a fun little challenge to see what of the different fiber contents and fiber blends that I have made into hand knitted t-shirts would be the best. So if that sounds like something that interests you, stay tuned. I hope you'll follow along with me this week. You'll get to see all the different outfits of the day, and yeah, enjoy, you guys. All right, you guys, it is much later in the day, much brighter as you can tell, and I thought I would check in and give you a little bit of update. So I am wearing my Tegna today. This is knit out of 100% silk yarn. It is a fingering weight yarn. I'm unsure of the brand. It's something that I picked up at our guild. They do a big sale twice a year, every year, and I am going to be so shiny and bright. The sun is like coming right on me. Anyways, so I'm not sure of the brand because it was all in Japanese, the label, and it was a Japanese yarn, but it is a 100% silk fingering weight yarn. And as I said, I made a Tegna, which is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, out of this. And I have to say, as many of you know, I work for a museum. We're also a park, so I'm in and out of my office all day, going to different buildings and such. So actually around 10:30 this morning, I ended up walking across the property. We're 21 acres. So I went from the south side where my office is all the way to the north side to help my boss find some light fixtures for a building we're currently in the process of doing some restoration on. And that stretch is pretty hot. There's not a lot of trees along most of the pathways, and I have to say, by the time I got down to where my boss was with some of the maintenance guys that we were working with, it wasn't too bad. I wasn't too sweaty from making the trip. I have to say, I'll put the highs and the lows in on the screen today, and I think the humidity is a little bit lower than what it has been over the last week or two. There is a blessed breeze right now, thank God. Oh my God, that breeze feels so good. I have to say that I didn't feel hotter than I normally would just in a regular linen outfit. So I'll walk you guys through what I'm wearing today. So as I said, I have on my Tegna. This is 100% silk. Underneath it, I am wearing a little linen camisole because the gauge on this it's not loose. I think it's like nice for the fabric, but it is a little bit see-through. It's just a little bit sheer because I think this is probably closer to a lace weight than a fingering weight yarn. And then I am wearing a linen skirt from a company called Linen Fairy Tales. They're one of my favorite brands to get elastic banded high-waisted skirts with kind of the paper band across the top. Definitely a big staple in my wardrobe most days. So yeah, this is not too different from what I would wear to work on a normal basis. The only difference is sometimes I do wear my hand knits to work, don't get me wrong. But a lot of times I just wear the linen foundation layer and then the skirt. And then when it's a little bit more of our shoulder seasons, I wear more of our hand knits. When it's kind of peak summer here in Swamplandia, that happens less often. But on the whole, I have to say this did fairly well as I anticipated it. I kind of wish I would have worn a different outfit today because I was supposed to have meetings most of the day today and then they ended up getting canceled. So we'll see what the rest of the week brings. But yeah, on the whole, this is past. I've been sitting out here for about 5 minutes now. What you're seeing is a little bit of sweat on my forehead. Nothing too crazy. I feel like it was a lot cuter earlier today. But you know, it is what it is. So I think what I'm going to do with this series is probably check in every afternoon at the end of my work day and kind of give you a rundown of how the fiber felt, because once I get home, no matter what, I will be changing into comfy pajamas and I won't be wearing my knits the rest of the day. If you guys have any questions about my Tegna specifically or anything else in the video, feel free to drop them down below. But yeah, I have to say, I am sitting in direct sunlight right now, as you can probably tell by the amazing glare on my face. But I'm sitting in direct sunlight right now, and I'm baking, as you normally would think you would, sitting in the sun at 5 p.m. on a Florida afternoon. But it's not that bad. I can deal with this. And I have to say, I think this fabric has breathed pretty well. You know, when I've sweated, I haven't felt like I've been sitting in puddles of my own sweat throughout the day, so that's great. I'm just rambling to ramble right now, trying to figure out what else I can add to make this worthwhile, but I think that's all I got at the moment. Good morning, curators. Welcome back. It is day 2 of this little experiment that I'm doing to see which is the warm weather friendliest fiber in my hand knit wardrobe of summer t-shirts. So on today's day 2, we have my recently finished Misurina tee. This is a pattern by Caitlin Hunter, and it is knit out of Shibui twig yarn, I believe, which is a linen, silk, and slight wool blend. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. I just got back from the dog park with the dogs, and I need to finish getting ready for work. So I thought I could do a little get ready with me while I do a little bit of pre-work skincare. I've already put some of this stuff on, but it was a scorcher this morning. So it's 8 o'clock. It's already 80 degrees, and it is already 85% humidity. Y'all, I was sweating. Didn't help that my hair is wet, so it's been like dripping down my back with how humid it was, but with like the extra sweat, it was bad. It was really, really bad. So I am just applying a little bit more of I have some vitamin C serum, and then I'm already put on like a sunscreen primer, but I'm gonna add just a little bit of this BB cream. And I'm really trying to get, it's mostly for the sunscreen in this, and the shade is a little bit lighter than what I need, but it's mostly for the sunscreen in it. But I really have been trying to move away from wearing makeup, and so part of that has been taking better care of my skin. I apologize. You're there, and I have a mirror, like a little sliver of a mirror. So I promise I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to make sure I don't look like Bozo the Clown when I go into work today. But I've been trying to embrace like the more natural look, and part of that has been taking better care of my skin. And I have to say, just making a few small changes seems to be paying off. I apologize for the terrible lighting. It's much better in real life. So I'm just putting a little bit of eyeshadow on. I don't even know why. So today is mostly meetings. That is like the majority of my day. And then I have or it's not meetings. I have like a virtual class I have to do today. They started doing career ladders for everyone who works in my organization. So my museum is part of a larger government operation. And so they rolled out these career ladders for every employee. And part of them is we have to take these, like, they're supposed to be relevant skill building classes. However, to even get hired in a museum, like, a master's degree is kind of the barrier to entry. Like, that's the lowest education threshold. So like while other people are taking like CEUs, what they did for us, since our level of education is so high, is they're having us take like these internal classes through HR that are like mission planning and thinking strategically and all this stuff. So anyways, I think today is goal setting works. I'm just gonna finish with a little bit of powder. I was gonna try and like do like a curly high pony, but I think it's too high for that. And honestly, the feel of my ponytail dripping down my back was driving me crazy. So I'm gonna fix that here in a second. Not sure what's next for me. But anyways, all that is to say, with this path, I have to take these classes. And so my day, half my morning is just gonna be in my office taking this like soft skills class. So I'm not too fussed with what I look like anyways. But yeah, this is the fit, this is the face. Ready to tackle the day. See you guys soon. Hey y'all, just doing my little mid-afternoon check-in, midday, end of work day check-in. Sorry, I don't film much footage while I'm at work because I don't want to cross any boundaries. Midday check-in, it was really warm today. I spent most of my day in the office. I did end up leaving around 10 o'clock. A volunteer that I have worked on past projects with stopped in, and so I chatted with him in our boat shop, which is an exhibit that I worked on through most of 2020 and 2021, and he was one of the project managers on that with me. So I stopped and chatted with him because he was taking some photos of the exhibit for an article he's writing, and that building is unair conditioned, so this shirt got put to the test. It was definitely warm in there. It would be warm regardless of what you're wearing. But I have to say I did not sweat in there nearly as much as I was at the dog park this morning. The dog park this morning was really bad, like really bad. I think part of it is my hair was wet and I had it kind of in a high pony and it was just dripping down my back. So between that and the humidity, and it was pretty stagnant, like there wasn't much of a breeze there this morning. Anyways, it was really warm. And I think also having a little bit of color work in the yoke here definitely makes it a little bit warmer than I was wearing yesterday. The top I wore yesterday, my Silk Tegna, is definitely the lightest out of everything I'm gonna wear this week. Like it just doesn't feel like much in terms of weight when it's in your hands. However, I think this has been breathing really good. It breathes really well. Like when I sweat, the fabric doesn't feel very damp and it dries quite quickly, so that is nice. I do think with the little bit of the wool content in it, it is a little bit warmer than some other tops that I have in my wardrobe, but on the whole I'm loving it. And because this is a little bit of a science experiment, I'm trying to keep my like tops and bottoms roughly the same in terms of fiber content. So today's outfit is my top with just undergarments on underneath. I know yesterday I was wearing a little camisole because what I was wearing was a little see-through, so just regular undergarments. And then today I am wearing this with some high-waisted linen pants that I got at Marshall's to go with it. I had thought I was going to wear this with a high-waisted skirt, but I didn't really like the three linen skirts that I have in my wardrobe, so I actually ended up buying these pants specifically to wear with this outfit, but I love it. And then I have it paired with some secondhand brown Rothy's flats as well. That's the fit for the day. Like I said, nothing sponsored, just what I like, what I find. And with most things in my wardrobe, I do try to buy either secondhand, particularly secondhand slow fashion brands, because I do want to minimize my environmental footprint from fashion and fast fashion in particular. I realized that me saying I bought these pants is the opposite of that. However, pants is one of the few things, or one of the few wardrobe pieces that I struggle with, particularly buying secondhand, because you're not able usually to try that on in advance And then same for buying it online, from kind of more of a slow fashion brand like on Etsy. So these are something that it's like one of the areas where I'm not too finicky about that, because my waist is a lot smaller. Like my waist is probably like a medium to a large in terms of standard measurements, and then my hip / butt area is like a 2XL. So since there's that disparity, I find that to be something that's really hard to find without trying on in advance. So give myself a little bit of leeway when it comes to pants. Anyways, that's my update. I think this top is doing well. I would say it probably, I don't know, it's hard to compare these. Like an ease of comfort, am I warm? Yes. Am I perspiring underneath? Yes. Do I feel like I am perspiring more or less than yesterday? No. Like it's just hot. It's just hot here, and you're gonna bake in the sun regardless. But like, am I dying? Like if I was in, I have one. I'm kind of dreading the day this week, but I have a Silk Tegna that is knit out of 50% wool and 50% silk. I have it picked out to wear one day this week, but I'm kind of dreading it because I know it's going to be hot. I've worn it here in August, June, July before, and it's warm. It's very warm. So I'm kind of not looking forward to that day. But that's the whole, I would maybe put this in terms of like, no, I would say it's on par, because the other shirt I have to wear a layer on underneath. So this is probably just as warm or just as cool as the silk top. Maybe if I had knit that at a tighter gauge, I wouldn't be saying that, but I think if you could find like, I think if it was a thicker, plumper fingering weight, the silk might, 100% silk might edge out this linen silk wool blend. But on the whole, quite pleased with it. And yeah, until tomorrow, I'll let you guys know the updated rankings. I'll talk to you later. Bye. Hey guys, welcome to day 3 of my little video testing which warm weather friendly fiber is friendliest after all. Sorry I didn't check in with you this morning like I have every other day this week. It was just a really busy morning between getting the dogs walked and getting to work, and then I had a bunch of meetings this morning, and so yeah, that didn't just happen. They opted for space buns today. One is a little deflated, the other one's still a little bit perky, but we're rolling with it. So today I am wearing my outline tee. This is a pattern by Jessie May Designs. It is knit out of Knit One, Crochet Two. They are a Florida-based yarn manufacturer, and this is their Daisy base, I believe. And it is a linen, hemp, and silk blend. So all natural fibers, and I have to say this is one of my favorite tops to wear in general. I love the color. The yarn doesn't feel the greatest when you're working with it, like it's very stiff and crunchy. However, one of the things I love about this yarn is I can just chuck this top in the washing machine and the dryer. The other day I actually ran it through the wash, and John was putting all the clothes in the dryer, and he said like, oh, can I put this in the dryer? And I said no, because I do prefer to lay it out flat to dry. So he hung it, but he hung it like on our fire extinguisher in our laundry room, and so it had this like weird thing going on the back. So when I was walking the dogs while I was wearing it this morning, it just was not like fitting right on me because the fabric dried really funky. And so I went back home, I put it under the sink, got it a little damp, and then threw it in the dryer before I left for work. And so anyways, all of that is to say like that worked itself out, but I love that this is machine washable. Essentially, you don't have to worry about felting anything. I do have to say, when I was wearing it this morning, walking the dogs, it was very warm, but I think that's just the mornings lately have been super humid. I've been taking screenshots every morning of what the weather's supposed to be like and the humidity, and I want to say it was 85% humidity this morning, and so it's just like walking through swamp soup. That's exactly what it was like. So now it's about 5 o'clock in the evening. There's a little bit of a breeze, just a kiss from Mother Nature. And I have to say, I'm just sitting here. It's a little bit overcast, so you can tell I'm not quite as blown out as days before, and it's quite pleasant. I am just wearing this with a cotton bralette on underneath and a high-waisted linen skirt. This is another skirt from Linen Fairy Tales, and I bought it secondhand on Facebook, so I will be putting in some footage hopefully here of today's fit. I have to say, today I was not outside a ton. As everyone is probably aware, record heat wave going across all of the US right now, and so yeah, I have not been spending much time outside if I don't have to, but I walked the dogs this morning. I ran home for lunch to let them out, and Publix to pick up a sandwich on my way back to work. And I have to say, on the whole, it has not been like, this has breathed really well. But I mean, so far I think these are all doing well. Like I said, it's summer, it's almost August. This is peak sweltering season here, and so I think the fact that I can wear these and be as comfortable as can reasonably expected is great. So I would definitely encourage you to give warm weather fibers a shot. I mean, I know they don't feel the same as wool in your hands, but I'm under no illusions. Like there's just something nice and warm and soft and comfortable and familiar about a wool yarn in your hands. Like, I love wool too. Trust me, I love wool.
I love bread. I don't deny myself bread. I have bread every day. I love bread.
Yeah, really enjoyable. I really like this top because I find that it's easy to dress up and dress down depending on the occasion, and I'm pretty lucky that my workplace is pretty casual in general. So I'm able to get away with wearing something like this, but I'll throw it on for running errands over the weekends. Sometimes I sleep in it. Like I said, I really enjoy this top, and I would probably make another one. I might omit the drop stitch detail if I were to make another one, just so it's a little less casual, like not necessarily like formal, but like if you can see here, like, hello. So with the bralette, I don't worry about that too much. In the high-waisted skirt, like, I'm not like giving anyone a free show, but I think if you wanted it to be a little more toned down in that respect, that's an easy modification to make. Well, I'm rambling now, so I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Bye. Hey you guys, welcome to day 5 of this little social experiment. I got the dogs behind me. I am home on my lunch break right now. I thought I would flash you guys real quick. My outfit today is my Plumeria. Our house is dirty, as you can tell. I woke up late today and left in kind of a rush, so that is why I did not check in this morning. I definitely overslept. I woke up at 6:45 this morning. I usually try and be out the door by 7 to take the dogs to the dog park, so things were running a little behind. Didn't really have a chance to check in. I actually had a completely different outfit planned. I was gonna wear this with some linen overalls, and I accidentally dropped one of the straps in the toilet while I was getting ready, so I kind of had to make a last minute adjustment. I was planning on wearing this skirt with a different top, but it is what it is. We are where we are at this point in the week. We really need to do some laundry. That way I can sort out tomorrow's outfit. I have to say, this top feels a little bit like cheating since it is a tank top, but also today is pretty overcast, and I feel like it's a little bit cooler than it has been the last day or two. I need to check my weather app again though, because it was pretty humid this morning, but that might just be because this is breathing so much better than the other fabrics. So as I said, I'm wearing my Plumeria. This is a pattern by Wool and Pine Designs, and I knit mine out of Illimani Sabri is the name of the base. Illimani is the brand, Sabri is the base. It's like an 85% cotton, 15% alpaca blend. And as you can see, it's nice and light and airy. Let's see if we can get a little, sorry, my name tag. So as you can see, it's this nice wool, and then I have it with a high-waisted skirt. And so this is a little bit more casual than I would normally wear to the office, but as I've said in other vlogs, I'm lucky in that my workplace is pretty casual. I would definitely normally wear this on like a Tuesday when we're closed to the public, but I'm just working in my office right now anyways. I'm researching for a new exhibit, and so it's not really a big deal, and I've chucked on a cardigan over it when I'm working at my desk because it's cold. But yeah, I think I'll take a walk in a little bit and see how this performs, put it up to the sweat test, and I'll check in with you guys at the end of the workday. Bye. Hey curators, welcome to day 5 of this little yarn experiment. Today I did not have time this morning to get ready and vlog, so I'm joining you on my lunch break. Forgot to grab my tripod because, you know, that's how we do it around here. But anyways, today I am wearing my Mariettmo tee, another pattern by Caitlin Hunter. And this is knit out of Anzula Milky Way yarn. It's 90% milk protein fiber and like 10% elastic. I think I'll put the information down below. In truth, I have not worn, I don't think I've ever worn this FO because when I finished it, I bound off the neck too tight and it was really hard to get over my head. And so then one day when I was feeling really motivated, I ripped out the neckline. But I haven't put the new one back in, but I'll be honest with you, I could not bring myself this morning to put on my last 2 sweaters that I had as like summer tee options, because one is a 50-50 blend of wool and silk and the other was an 80-20 wool nylon blend, and it wasn't gonna happen today or this summer. I probably could have worn the 50-50 blend, but it also felt a little tight. And so between knowing I was going to be uncomfortable because of the high wool content and then uncomfortable because it was kind of a little too small at this point, I just said I'll wear this one and look a little raggedy. So that's where we're at. But today's outfit, like I said, is this tee, and then I'm wearing it with some linen pants that I wore earlier this week. And yeah, so far it's been comfortable aside from the fact that I need to finish the mending. Okay, I had to stop filming a while because some people came over. But today's weather report is hot. It is 91 degrees with 69% humidity. Feels like 101 degrees outside. So that's what we're dealing with in terms of heat. I have to say, I've been sitting here for about 10 or 15 minutes, and right before I sat down to film, I went and checked in with a few different volunteers in the park, and so I've been outside for a while. This is breathing well. I feel pretty comfortable. You can see I really need to fix the neckline on this, but I'm not too hot. Granted, I am sitting in the shade. I think it might be a little bit different if I went into the sun, but thank God we had some rain last night. We've had an awful drought this year. Normally this is our rainy season, and we're finally very late into the summer, starting to get afternoon and evening rains, which are great because they kind of blow some of the humidity out of the air so it doesn't feel quite as hot and it just cools off the ground and everything. Anyways, on the whole, this is good. I would definitely knit another summer top out of this fabric. Apparently which is why I bought it, the milk protein fiber is supposed to breathe really well. So that's the update on this. I would definitely say out of the 5 tops I've worn so far, if I was ranking them in terms of breathability and comfort, it would be my Plumeria, which is knit out of the Illimani that I wore yesterday. I would maybe give this top currently number 2. Number 3 would probably be the all silk, and then tied, because they're very similar, are the Shibui and the knit one crochet 2s that I wore earlier this week. However, both of those fibers are a little bit plumper. I would say they're closer to a sport weight in terms of thickness. However, both of those are plumper. I would say they're closer to a sport weight in terms of thickness. So that's probably also a contributing factor. But I mean, all of them I have been able to wear and wouldn't be like, oh my God, I'm burning up inside these tops. So there's that. I think they've all done really well considering the challenge of Florida summer.